Hello and welcome to the Charmed Life Podcast. This podcast is all about magic, metaphysics, mysticism, and the unconditional love of the universe. And I am your host. My name is Tricia Carr. I'm so honored that you are checking it out today because this episode is, well, something that just, I guess it's epiphanic. It is something that just was downloaded into my awareness today, this very day. I had another subject planned, but I think it must be the next episode or the next one. But this one just came into my consciousness in that kind of obvious way that it does when you receive an epiphany, when you channel something. And what's very interesting is that it showed up for me in the manner that it is teaching us about manifestation, or better said, creation. And so today I was driving along and I was on a short drive from home to my studio, and I heard a Bible verse that we've all heard a gazillion times. But that time that I heard it, there was an opening in my energy and dropped down into my holistic mind, my quantum mind, was this concept. And then immediately a sort of label for that concept. So, if you're new here, I have a background in, when I was a kid and a young adult, I was in the Christian church. And so I studied the Bible a lot when I was a young aspiring minister. Well, I was a minister and I'm a minister now, only I'm a metaphysical minister. I'm an ordained minister. But what's so interesting is that the Bible is a very magical book. And when we are able to view it free of dogma and, some of the religion that is limiting, then like many other sacred texts, we'll find the magic in it. And so within this podcast and my YouTube channel, I have a sort of theme, a mini series or theme within it called Metaphysics of the Bible, or you might even say magic, mysticism, alchemy of the Bible. So the Bible verse that I heard was Genesis 1:3. I'm actually saying that off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And it is, let there be light. Let there be light. Now, however you view the Torah or the Christian Bible, what we know is that this creation myth or imagery is prevalent throughout the centuries and centuries of our culture. That particular book itself, the Torah and the Bible, is highly influential on the Western world, whether or not you ascribe to those religions. It's just a part of the fabric. And I dare presume that phrase, let there be light, and that mythology of how creation came to be, or that imagery, if you prefer, is something that it's probably difficult for it to escape any person on this planet. So let there be light is actually the exhibition of the universal law of allowance. The universal law of allowance. So what first came through was a revelation or an epiphany about what let there be light means, what that instance actually is, and then the appellation of it is a demonstration of the universal law of allowance. So let me break this down for you. Allowance is how we create. It is how we create anything. And this is exhibited here in Genesis 1:3, because even God, even the prime creator, in order to create anything, the very first thing created was light. And therefore God said, let there be light. Even God, even the prime creator, utilizes the universal law of allowance. God allowed light. And what is also subtextual here is that God was somehow instantaneously, while creating the very first kind of creation, just the frequency of light, that God simultaneously co-created. God, or prime creator, allowed and co-created and cooperated, and with ease allowed, let there be light. And since this, according to this imagery, which you can take literally or inferentially, however it works for you. But if we were to take this as a literal demonstration of how energy works, which if you are a metaphysician, if you are one who studies mysticism and you vibrate to the energetics or the universal laws, to metaphysics, then this actually aligns entirely with this. This is why it goes in the metaphysics of the Bible category, or in ceremonial magic, because it is only by allowance, only with ease, only with a clear frequency that anything comes to be. Now, I also imagine my imagery includes here a perspective of Prime Creator observing and said, let there be light. That there was a contemplation occurring, and a contemplative state is something that is holistic use of the energy, both the actionable energy, thus the humans understand and embody as the conscious mind, the critical mind, which is standing back and allowing, and of course the subconscious mind, which is the spirit that allows something to come to pass and impresses upon the actionable part of the mental body, that conscious mind. And it is with ease, because when we are not at ease, when we feel any tension, resistance, there's then basically static in the frequency. If you can think of an analog radio signal or television signal, when it's clear, it's easy to receive it. When there's static in it, then it isn't being communicated clearly. And so that is what this universal law of allowance is helping us to understand, observe. It is observation. And so there's a few examples I have of this universal law of allowance in play, just, the regular human examples. And one of them you have probably heard of, how people who are trying to become pregnant, they want to start a family, and they are infertile, and they're not able to become pregnant and get the whole thing on board. And so then they move to adoption. And once they are certain that the adoption is underway, boom, that's when they get pregnant. And they could have been trying for so long by all of the different ways that people try to be more fertile. That is when the actual parenthood, when they are at ease about it because they are, certain of it, or they've released their tension about whether or not it's going to happen, the awareness that it might not happen. In the previous episode, we talked about doubt turning to hope. And that's another way that we clear the signal and come more at ease. Because a hopeful frequency is a more at ease frequency. When something feels good, we're more in our home frequency, and that is a clearer and more at ease frequency. Another example of the universal law of allowance is what they call in the entertainment business the 25-year overnight success. And so it's a person who has been working really hard in the industry, perhaps as a performer. Usually it refers to a performer, and they've been doing all kinds of things, but suddenly they hit the scene, and they have all of the A-list opportunities, and everything is just happening, and it just snowballs, seemingly instantaneous. However, to those who are industry, insiders, people who are in the, grunt part of it as well, they know this person has been hitting the streets for a long time, and that's why they call it a 25-year overnight success. And so it could be that perhaps sometimes when that happens, of course, this metaphorical performer has been planting seeds, and somehow they all fruited at once. But it is probably because at some point they are just at ease at being a performer, and they release their resistance about whether or not they're successful or they get this or that, and they just release, and then the allowance law kicks in for them, and there you have it. So it's about softening your energy about the subject that you wish to create. If you can soften your energy about it. And if it's kind of hard to detect where your energy isn't soft, where it is hardened, tense, tight in some way, then that's the invitation to go within and get more quiet with your energy and begin to untangle it and find the small places. That means there could be many opportunities to soften your energy. and just go one by one. Become very present with it, because this is a self-loving opportunity. Hey guys, it's Tricia Carr. I have new exciting things going on with my Mystic Arts Academy. You can now subscribe to receive all of the live monthly content for about a third of the investment of a single class. Included are at least one downloadable guided meditation per month, 2 live events ranging from classes, channeled messages, group readings, intuitive development guidance, Q&A sessions, and tons of community. You'll also have access to a private Facebook community for fellowship and support, and this space is kept super sacred and high vibrational. Your subscription gives you access to the whole library of classes and live events, which are on a vast array of topics. All events are offered online by Zoom video call. Subscribing to the Mystic Arts Academy is also a way for you to support the Charmed Life podcast and engage on a deeper level. I'm offering the subscription at a super low rate of $22 a month. Joining now locks in this rate for as long as you're subscribed. Click on the description of this episode or go to my website, triciacarcharm.com, and click on Mystic Arts Academy. I look forward to connecting. So softening your energy about that which you wish to create in any way that you can. Also, raising your vibration in relation to the subject that you wish to create. This automatically makes you more at ease. And so if you are feeling tense about your finances, let's say, and you hope to, you would like to hope, but you'd like to move from doubt to hope, to be very prosperous and abundant, or whatever is the right, level of abundance and prosperity for you, then somehow find a way to be at ease about it and to be in allowance, but raise your vibration about it. Sit with the idea, the concept of finances, and see if there is something that is tense within you. And just give it attention, give it love, find a way to allow that frequency to clear, or to even raise to a happy, joyful frequency. Now, some things that may help in this, we're talking about something as really most of us, or not most of us, but certainly a lot of us have a complex relationship and feelings about finances. We can do things by like observing past lives, seeing if there are some vows, which I'm just releasing a video on past life vows and how you can actually see if there's anything from a past life where you took a vow of poverty, for example, and what the themes from that energetic timeline has with this one, and how you can bring yourself into the self-worth to be at ease and joyful about prosperity, abundance, comfort, the joy of being, which might for many of us be no longer having the tension around survival or what's going to happen the next day. And finances can be a part of that. If there's some kind of trauma in this life from your past about, what you imprinted from your parents, or what you imprinted about your context, your social group of some kind, being able to get into that energy and hold space and love the child or the young person who received that energy, that imprint, and see if there's a way to love the timeline backward, love those who were a part of the imprinting, and be a blessing to them, even by prayer, or perhaps the Hawaiian huna ancient spiritual practice of ho'oponopono, which is to work with either an individual in person, but you can do this on your own, where you work through a prayerful and energetically healing process of, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Being able to release those from your past for how they may have imprinted their own fears upon you, and also releasing yourself of the ways that you reinforced it, this forgiveness process. All of these beautiful methods of consciousness fitness practice, very loving. And all of this helps us to clear and to allow the energy, the life force, to run more easily. Ease is the key here, easily to that which is aligned with your intention. There's the universal law of intention here still, Because when God said, let there be light, God had an intention, and then God allowed it to be connected from the inside of the essence to the outside with the co-creation energy. And we allow that frequency to clear up the signal. When you raise your vibration, the signal becomes clear. We drop off density, we drop off the static, and then there's a clear path. So even simply just finding a way to be at ease. We have this conditioning that if we are tense, upset, and fearful, that somehow we'll stay safer. But that's not true, especially not in a modern society where we don't have to be on edge because we're going to be attacked by a predator. In fact, we create more passively. We create more indirectly. We use currency and we create relationships in order to become more prosperous and abundant. And so allowance is even more obvious in that model. Even when we are in a fearful state, let's say we are in an actual survival state. I have another example here that's not as feel-good as the other two about becoming pregnant or about becoming a successful movie star. But this one is another example that has to do with being in a tense and fearful state. Well, I've got two. Spirit just told me another one. One is this story that I heard, the trigger alert. It's about sexual assault. It's not very detailed, though. But I did hear this story about a woman who was attacked and was being sexually or close to being sexually assaulted. And she felt like this ease. This person, I believe, was Christian. So she had a spiritual, she had a faith. And she became very much at ease. And she just prayed for the person and looked right into this person's face and said something that was about, blessing this person. I don't remember the specifics. And it shifted the energy so profoundly, but she was deeply in surrender, deeply at ease, and she just felt some kind of profound compassion, which was raising her vibration from the fear. But it was the fear, of course she was in abject terror up to that point, but that can actually create a breaking of that critical mind and cause one to deeply surrender. And so she did. She was able to somehow, by her own faith, bless this person. It shifted the energy and the person fled. And so the assault did not go as far as it could have. And then there are also the circumstances where a person is in some kind of life-ending terminal disease, and there may be a lot of suffering in the physical body. And yet somehow all of that suffering and the impending demise of the physical life causes this breaking of that conscious mind, that critical mind, the ego mind, and they feel complete bliss. And so they're able to surrender. They're able to allow some of the most beautiful moments of a physical life while in the depths of physical difficulty. Because there's a portal available in every single moment, a portal for you to open and allow the floodgates of creation to move through you, to be on the team with creation, just the way that God was when God said, "Let there be light." To whom was God speaking? To God's self? And so this is the exact model of how we create. We relax and we connect with the purest of our own energy and we say, "Let there be light. Let there be blessing. Let there be abundance. Let there be healing. Let there be love. And may this love spread across all of the humans, all of the creatures, all of the elements of this planet and out and beyond in the galaxy and universe. Let there be love. For in recognition of the allowance of love, then the universal law of allowance says that it is good. And it is what is the truth, the highest truth. The light, the love. When we're able to raise our vibration in relation to a subject that we are wishing to create, we automatically become more at ease. We release the awareness of it not being. God didn't say, I wonder if light won't happen. God said, let there be light. It opens the awareness of allowing being. And this is, by the way, why breathing is so powerful. The breath of life, coming in a deeper, easier, intentional breathing pattern. Because you know what we're doing? We are saying, let there be life when we consciously engage, intentionally engage with a deeper and easier breathing pattern, because the breath of life that God breathed into Adam's nostrils, again, just going with the model of this magical book that came through the hands of human beings. Nevertheless, the breath of life. And then God breathed the breath of life into his nostrils, and he became a human being. Breathing is being. And so when you are having an intentional breathing experience, know that you are allowing life. You are welcoming life. You are gleefully, joyfully, excitedly participating in the co-creation of life. And what's so beautiful about that is that it happens anyway. As you're creating incarnation, it continues to happen. And your intention for it to happen is even automated, because the breathing continues when we get to shift our awareness to intentional allowance. Oh, how sweet it is. And so when all else fails, if you can breathe your way in through it, it will automatically create ease in the body. Sustaining that ease in the body will then create ease in the mind. Sustaining the ease in the mind will then create ease in the energy. And so this is a very simple, magical tool that anyone can do to be able to raise their vibration in relation to a subject of creation. Hold that subject in your mind, in your energy. Hold space for it, and intentionally, deeply, and abundantly breathe. My suggestion in this moment to try this is to do 33 cycles of a deep inhale, a pause with that fullness of breath, soaking it in, and then a full and long exhale, the exhale being about twice as long as the inhale. And then with the vessel completely empty, even at the very end, going to collapse the vessel as much as possible. Hold that for a moment. Because as you hold that for a moment, you get to be in the energy of comfort with the life force flowing to you again. The faith, the allowance that you can recognize in that moment. As the vessel is empty, you can turn it on and come into allowance again. 33 of these while holding in your mind, holding in your heart, holding in your awareness a subject that you wish to flow creator energy toward. Well, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this content today. I want to direct you to the YouTube channel to like, subscribe, share, and comment there, and click the little bell for notifications, because I am publishing unique content on each of these outlets here on the podcast and there on the YouTube channel. And there's just a lot of different ways that I'm presenting it. Sometimes a little more entertaining, and sometimes more contemplative, as it is here on the podcast. And so I really do appreciate you being here. And if you would like to stay more deeply connected to, join the newsletter. All of those links are in the description of this podcast. And I would love to invite you to please leave a review on the podcast. It increases the light quotient of this work. It helps me to continue to connect with you, helps us to deepen our connection, and it also helps me to boost my connection with others, because as we connect, we exponentially grow in light and life and love, and then it flows out to others. And I say that humbly. I say that with so much gratitude and so much appreciation. That's another frequency, appreciation. For when let there be light, when God allowed light to be, when God allowed creation to happen, that was an instantaneous moment of appreciation. So we have intention, allowance, appreciation. That is how the God essence, the creator essence in me, in you, works. That's how energy works, y'all. Okay, everyone. That's what I have for you today. Metaphysics of the Bible, let there be light, the universal law of allowance. Thanks for tuning in. I love you. whoever you are. The Lightshine Development Circle is a sacred place for spiritual seekers to practice giving and receiving readings. The circle is open to all psychics, oracle card readers, mediums, channels, energy healers, Akashic record readers, and any other type of spiritual practitioner who offers their service via a reading-style format. Strengthen your intuitive abilities. In a circle, you can work with your abilities in a close-knit, supportive, and friendly environment where your privacy and personal development are honored. This program includes access to 2 development circles a month, opportunities to give and receive intuitive readings, and opportunities to receive generalized feedback and input from a Lightshine Spiritual Academy trained facilitator. The Lightshine Development Circle is open now for a very affordable monthly registration, just $22. If you are ready to open or expand your intuitive talents, to co-create a sacred practice space, and to give and receive intuitive readings with like-hearted seekers, then join now and let's shine together. Find the link to read more and register in the description.